Rob says, what's your thoughts on people like Wayne Rooney, Frank Lampard, big players getting big jobs and opportunities, maybe even Vincent Kompany, someone like that, who got the option to do championship jobs that maybe others would be lucky to get if they hadn't have had that playing career?
Well, I think that's happened forever, isn't it? So, like, I got the Rotherham job not because I was an unbelievable coach or manager. I got the Rotherham job because I was in the building at the time, and I've been a Rotherham player for years, and it was an easy fit.
As simple as that. You were there, and the owner came to you and said to you, "Look, I know you're quite good at talking to people. Do you want to do it?" Or have you already expressed him?
No, I'd already expressed that I didn't want to do it. I was caretaker a couple of times in a caretaker team, so to speak. And the last time when Kenny Jackett left, the club was in a state, to say the least, and they asked me to take charge of it while they got someone else in. So I did, to help the club out, but I didn't have any intention of doing it. That was me and a goalie coach, and I got Matt Hamshaw up from the youth team to help out in the championship. That was only 3 members of staff. And if you go to a champ game now, there's like 10 staff. So I did it. I didn't enjoy it in any way. It was horrific. I've said this loads of times. I lost a stone in weight. I spat blood every morning I woke up. Forgot to eat because you just caffeine revved up all day trying to solve loads of problems. And then I got asked to take it, and I turned it down. And then the chairman talked to me again and said, "Look, you don't want to live in regret, Paul. This is a real good opportunity for you." So I thank him for talking me into it and for seeing strengths in myself that I didn't see, if that makes sense.
You wanted to be a PE teacher instead, didn't you?
Well, not instead of being a football manager. I trained to be a PE teacher. I studied when I was still playing. I'd done my degree before I played. I didn't turn pro till I was late, so I probably have a different look on professional football than a lot of people. Then I did my teaching degree while I was still playing, and then I always thought that when I finished, I didn't have a dream to be in coaching or anything. And a lot of players don't when they're playing. It's only when they come to the end then. But then I just fell into the fitness coach role, which I loved because, I've just been to Portugal for a week and I've run it 6 kilometres every day. I'm a lunatic. So it suited my personality. And then I fell into the manager role. I'm not saying I'd go into teaching now. I love my kids. I can tolerate them. I don't know if I can tolerate a load of other kids that aren't in my family. Your tolerance level as you get in your 50s, it's great. So I don't think I'll go into teaching now, but that's the route I took.
This is from Jack. He's a season ticket holder at Derby. He says, is it possible to say what happened with Joe Wildsmith? Number 1 all season, then left. Seems strange from the outside. Up the Rams.
Yeah, I can say it. I can say it about any of my players. Look, I have to make decisions on improving the team throughout. Joe was brilliant, kept loads of clean sheets, got the Golden Glove, and I wish him all the best. Had a great relationship with Joe, as I do with my other goalkeeper, Josh Vickers. But Joe's contract ran out. We spoke about a new contract last season, and that broke down. So we just move on, really. We want to try and sign... I want to sign a better number 1 than the ones I've got. I want to sign a better midfielders than the midfielders I've released. Unfortunately, that happens every season at the end of the season, You want to improve the team. So Joe was great, but so were loads of other players that I've released who had a massive impact. Connor Hurahan, Corey Smith, these are great players who contributed massively, and if I think the team will improve by changing it, that's what I've got to do.
Do you get free hand in that? That's
on who I release?
Yeah.
Obviously I have a conversation with my staff, so my coaching staff, we have a conversation about the team every week, but it comes down to me. In regards to the players we're going to keep, we have honest conversations, and fundamentally it comes down to me.
I think also it's imperative that fans understand the financial restrictions that you have to work under. You can't just say, well, I want to keep him, and I want to keep those 4, give them new contracts. That'll take away some budget that you want to bring new players in, and they don't see that side of it. I know we've talked about it off air, but I know how it works. You in an ideal world, I'm sure you'd like to have all the new players you want and keep the ones you had.
Yeah.
But it's just not that simple.
No, it isn't that simple. And also, if I wanted to bring a number 1 in better than the ones I've currently got, and keep the ones I've currently got, then I'm going to have two who want to get out straight away.
Or you got to pay them more.
Yeah, you've got to pay him significantly more because they'll say, well, he's on that, and then it doesn't work like that. The other thing is that we've definitely tried to recruit is that, you know, and I presented this to the board, athletically, with teams in the champ, middle, bottom and top, we are down to where our stats need to be. So that doesn't affect Joe, obviously, running off his line at top pace, but we need to see where we can strengthen.
Yeah.
So sometimes I've let players go that I think, look, I could have kept him, he could have played a part. However, I need to get better. I need to get better than the players I had last year if we're going to compete. And unfortunately, you know, that's the nature of the beast.
You started the discussion about Derby, Rotherham, reason you moved over by talking about how if you was to stay at Rotherham, you thought you'd taken them as far as you can go. What is the limit of your ambition with Derby?
Well, I'd like to take, excuse me, I think that Derby one day will get back to the Premier League, right? That's the ambition of everyone at the football club. I don't know how long that will take, and I don't know how long of that journey I'll play a part in. But we've played, me and my staff and the players, with everyone at the football club, have played a little part by getting them to the first stage. How long it will take to get to the next stage, I don't know. We've got to try and, it's a boring word, but stabilise a little bit this year and try and be really competitive this year, and then try and build on it window on window to try and get ourselves, you know, in the top six to give ourselves a real good chance. So, you know, I feel like we've played a part, but who knows? Who knows? It could take 10 years, it could take 3. But
do you think the fans' expectancy is maybe going to be too high after seeing Ipswich do what they did?
I mean, I have joked about Kieran killing us, and I will text him again as soon as this is finished. But he has killed us. But not. I think. I mean, this isn't a unique thing to say.
But their budget was bigger than yours.
Pardon?
Their budget was bigger now.
Yeah, considerably.
Exactly.
But, yeah, it was bigger.
No,
but,
it's worth saying though, isn't it? Because I think Derby fans listening need to be put in a realistic picture. I mean, I'm sure you'll do that yourself. Won't need me to do it. But the Ipswich situation has, for a lot of clubs in Championship, put fans in a position where they go, hold on, if Ipswich can do it, coming up with League One players. But they did spend, their budget was a bit better than people think.
Yeah, it was.
They did have a spend.
Yeah, they did have a spend. And they done loads of other great stuff away from the pitch as well, which made the club better. They did have a big spend. I just think that, you know, we've got to be as competitive as we can and play as well as we can, and obviously entertain the crowd as much as we can. However, these are very good teams we're playing against. I think every set of fans in every team, in every league, always expects the most. And I don't think you can ever take that out of Dreamers. So if I spoke here now and said, I've got a £3 million budget in the Championship, obviously I haven't, I'm being a bit facetious, but if I did, there would still be a massive proportion of the fan base who think, yeah, but we can do well. We're Derby, we'll get behind the team. Yeah. You know, but realistically, and this is I mean, everyone knows this, but you really finish either 2 places above or below your budget. Not many people can really... Not many teams ever have. You look at the Premier League, I bet the 4th richest clubs are in the top 4, give or take, in the Champ, in League One, in League Two. The job as a management team is to try and get the best players to suit us and try and push them as high out of that zone as you can. So
did you have the second biggest budget last season in League One?
Did I? Is that true?
No, did you?
I don't think I did, no.
So then have you overachieved last season?
I think us finishing in the top 6 was where we should have been. Now, if you finish, in the end, we finished second and we always average for 2 points a game. But I thought if we finished out of the top 4, I'd have been disappointed. So I thought we were right up there, but not up there. And in fairness, I also had some hefty wages for some players, but it was done in the perfect storm because the club had collapsed and then had to get players in really quick. So we did have some wages, but when we were at my previous club, I don't think our budget was ever in the top 6. So you have to really push hard and get every sinew out of everyone, and that's why I try and sign really good people who want to turn up every day and work hard.
So what I was suggesting there was, if your budget wasn't top 2, if your budget of Rotherham...
It could have been. I'm not trying to be funny here. I don't honestly know.
But if your Rotherham budget was definitely not in the top 6, but yet you've got promoted with them...
Yeah.
Does that show that you have the ability to overachieve by that rule that you've just articulated to me?
Yeah, I mean, I've killed myself there, haven't I? Yeah, I mean, we did...
you told everybody to not have great big expectations, but then told them that you actually able to deliver more.
We did okay. We did okay. I mean, in fairness at Rotherham, we done very well in the fact that, and this is why we did well with the budget. It was a good budget. I'm not saying it wasn't a good budget, but the fact was we had a few players that came through the youth team that helped massively, who grew with the club, so that keeps it down, which is a great help. And realistically, we go into this season in the Championship feeling like really confident about ourselves, but like we're not arrogant about it. I'm not sitting here thinking, if even off the record, if you said to me, what do you think? I wouldn't say, I think we're going to finish like 20th, but I also wouldn't say I think we're going to finish 6th. We've got to get ourselves in a position that are going to be competitive in a really tough league. I think, and you can tell me different, you probably watch as much as I did. I thought the Champ last year was the best it's been in years. And
especially at the top end.
Yeah, but the difference between the 7th and down to 20th was virtually nothing. So I'm well aware of how hard it's going to be. And we are competing with very well-established teams in the league.
Good luck. Thank you very much for coming in. We really appreciate it. We've had a good, fascinating 45 minutes with Paul Warne, the Derby manager. Thank you for everyone who's texted in as well and asked questions.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.